Welcome to the Steak Knife Show. I'm Tim Schindel.
I remain Sean Foster.
He remains. He who remains.
One of the most wasted. I feel so bad because, like, that dude did get canceled hard. He's making a little bit of a comeback. But, like, and I'm not talking about, like, because he was scary in Ant-Man and the Quantumania. But, like, him as He Who Remains at the end of Loki, just hats off to him for that entire performance.
Oh, we're talking about the dude that was supposed to play Kang.
Yeah. Was it Majors? Jonathan Majors?
That dude. I
don't know. Sad that he got canceled. Seems like he's making a little bit of a comeback. But I enjoyed the way he portrayed He Who Remains, and he was terrifying as Kang. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah. He was.
Schindel.
Foster.
There ain't nothing to talk about.
That's not true. We literally just talked for almost a minute and a half about Marvel crap.
Yeah, but that's not what our fucking show's about.
It's not.
I think we fucked this pig as far as
Ew. No. Ain't no pigs on set. Maybe.
You should definitely get on your other foot because you have the rhino on one. You should get a pig, like a greased pig running away.
Actually, like, if we're going to, like, naval lore, like, a lot of people do chicken and the pig. Like, it's supposedly, like, chickens and pigs were, like, in crates on ships, like, back in ye old days of sailing. And so it's, like, it's supposed to save you if the ship goes down. It's just mythical.
It's food?
Like, no, meaning, like, it's, like, a sign of good luck. Like, you're going to survive. Because they were in wooden...
What's the sign?
They were in wooden crates. So they're supposed to make you more buoyant.
Okay.
That's the naval, like...
You're not a... maybe it's either... It's a combination of you're poorly explaining this and my 19 concussions.
Yeah. But no, the chicken and the pig is, like, a big, popular, like, naval tattoo. Same thing with, like, the nautical stars and all that stuff. But
the
also...
albatross and... Was albatross bad luck?
Sparrow is, like, a sign of, like... I don't remember the albatross. I've never had anybody with an albatross that I knew.
The sparrow I thought was supposed to be, like, a lover's tattoo. Or is that the swallow?
I mean, sparrow, swallow, like, whatever. That's, like, a symbol of true love, but also Marines and sailors use it as a way to show a sea crossing.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, crossing an ocean. So that's why I got it.
Nice.
Like, because while I wasn't on a ship, I did cross the ocean to go deploy.
Sweet.
So.
Cool. I've crossed the ocean.
Yeah.
Does that mean that I have a right to get one, or is it a military thing?
I mean, you can get one, but it would mean, like, the more, like, the lover, like, true love. Like,
that fits with me.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll get one with a broken wing.
I mean, like, if you want to, like, 2 broken wings.
Oh, speaking of that, sorry, we're going down the tangent hole today. I was not on my bingo card to go to the bank and then run up to a mailbox, and this dude was walking in a super, like, I don't know how to say this. If I say weird, I hope that you guys see white person. Super weird white dude, like t-shirt tucked into his shorts, Crocs and socks, like super strange. But he had a weird look on his face, and I couldn't tell why. And then I saw that he was holding a pigeon and power walking towards me.
Okay.
And I still don't know where he was going with it, but a semi went by. I was in Grandview on the street, and it scared him and the pigeon, and that thing took off, and he just started cussing up a storm. Not on my bingo card. Weird-looking white dude walking with a vigor towards me, holding a pigeon. And then he didn't say anything. He didn't explain anything. We made eye contact.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of like slumped his shoulders and walked back the way he came.
Maybe that was his attack pigeon.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Didn't train him very well. He might have a beef with me. I don't know.
Weird pigeon guy?
Weird pigeon guy. That's what, if I ever see him,
Yeah.
that's what I'm calling. You're a weird pigeon guy.
Weird pigeon guy.
Hey,
He'll be like,
explain the pigeon thing to me.
he'll be like, the pigeon was going to fuck you up. And you're like, no, it
might
wasn't.
have. I've never trained to fight a bird.
Yeah, it's true. I thought of something that I don't know that we've even, like, ever really, like, touched on
Get upstairs. You want to what? What is this? Pizza. No, I don't want your crust. Quit trying to fatten me up.
You trying to put him in an oven?
I'll fight.
A la Hansel and Gretel.
Hey, baby. Hi. You having fun? What are you guys doing? Still watching Gravity Falls?
Yeah.
Cool. Can I help you?
You want a bite?
No.
Not just the crust.
I don't want any pizza.
Why?
Because pizza and coffee doesn't taste very good.
It's true.
It doesn't?
No.
Not together, no.
Ever drink up your coffee?
Yes. Be careful, it's warm.
Yummy.
Did you even take a drink?
Yeah.
All right, be gone. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
There's your... See ya. There's your weekly Isle of Fae.
Yep.
No, you cannot have coffee tomorrow morning. I agree. It's the nectar of the gods. But
No
you
children
can't
were
have it.
harmed during the taping of this podcast.
Just stunted growth.
Yeah.
I'm a short man. They never had a hope. Their mom's, I think, half an inch shorter.
I've been drinking coffee since I was like 3.
I started drinking coffee like 7 or 8.
I would sit on my mom's lap and like pick up her cup and sip it like halfway down.
My grandpa would get me up at 4 a.m. so we could be the first at estate sales in his fucking little beat up Ford Ranger. And he'd like lash it that way, but then tie it back this way. That way we don't break that grandfather clock. Little did I know, this grandfather clock was probably worth like $7,000.
Yeah.
And he just got it first because he knew the guy.
Yeah.
Strange.
Had to hook up. So I
find a
did. What's up?
Did you find a topic?
That's
All right, cool. Hit me.
All right. So do you think we were talking about like Marvel and like that universe and stuff like that?
Okay.
Like obviously like in those things, like people are portrayed as having powers and all this stuff. But then you take somebody who, for all intensive purposes, like gets juiced up on steroids, Captain America, and then is somehow magically like a master of hand-to-hand combat after he comes out of this light therapy. And like in the comics, I understand they explain that he like trains.
Mm-hmm.
But
do you know what Captain America's fighting style is?
Not off the top of my head.
So it's those old school Marine videos I sent you?
Yeah.
It's judo, aikido, boxing, gymnastics, and there's one other thing. But it's like
probably like boxing or
yeah, but like it's not jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But like the thing is Marvel in their animated films and in the movies kept it that way. Like it's strong judo, some weird aikido ones that like definitely is meant to like break your wrist.
Yeah.
And then like solid boxing mixed in with creative gymnastics.
And that's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, if you are that would work.
Yeah.
Like if you're superior to everybody.
Aikido doesn't work if you don't train something else. I said it, and I'll fight any of you Aikido guys. We can do it. We can do a cage fight. We can do a grappling match. We can do whatever you want. If you don't train jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, maybe Muay Thai, Aikido is just a really fancy swing dancing. It's got some cool concepts. I use them. I've modified them for jiu-jitsu. I've won a couple matches with Aikido throws, but they were not the Aikido throws that you're talking about.
No. And then you and I've talked about that, but also like, so what I'm getting at is like, do you think those types of movies hurt people's perception of violence? Not just like, so those are like really stylized action movies and much easier to understand that you can't do this. These people have quote unquote powers. But then like, let's take Black Widow and Hawkeye. They're supposed to be like normal. Yeah. They're supposed to be like normal people. Same thing with the new Captain America. He's normal, but he's got like a wingsuit and all that stuff.
The really interesting thing with so your question, does it I think all media wildly skews reality.
Right.
And I think that in terms of like we have some of the smartest people in the nurses that we work with.
Yeah.
Some doctors that I just like
they're all great.
Sure. Thankfully a couple of the doctors I really respect train. Like they go Ronin, like they're purple belts, like they're good. They don't actually need me there. They can fight.
Yeah.
But
they do, because that ethically would violate a boundary they have established personally. But I understand.
I understand it would violate the policy and they would get fired.
And some of them may actually have like a true ethical separation between the violence they enact on the mats and what they think is appropriate at work. You don't know. I mean,
do you know something that there's this huge thing. It flares up probably once or twice a year.
Yeah.
But I just saw somebody that I never would have expected it out of was like, all right, guys, it's time to stop calling jiu-jitsu matches fights.
Yeah.
And he's a judoka, high-level judoka,
Yeah.
like one of the last true pillars of practical, useful judo. Dude's a fucking stud. I love the guy.
Yeah.
He's also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, wins a lot by submission, does a lot of everything just like I do, but he's definitely got that MMA dog in him. Where
Right,
like,
right,
I did
right.
MMA for fun. That dude did it as like a warrior's path. And like there's a lot of, and I see it mostly out of MMA fighters who can't do MMA anymore, and they come to jiu-jitsu and they're like, it's usually after they get their ass handed to them by a pure jiu-jitsu player.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you really shouldn't call them fights. Like I've fought, and I'm just like, that jiu-jitsu guy would have done the same shit to you even if you could have punched, if they trained for real. And like a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys that like do it, they absolutely would do just fine in like their first 4 jiu-jitsu fight or first 4 cage fights.
I was gonna say I know a lot of people that train jiu-jitsu that also train striking. Not everybody.
It's coming around,
more
especially with
prevalent,
combat jiu-jitsu, and then just with like the realization. But again, so we're talking like your question is, I think all media. So like the big shock for me was like peering. Now I've gotten to peer behind both the law enforcement veil and the medical veil, right?
Right.
So the truth of it is that like, let's do it this way. You work in insurance.
Yeah.
And you have 15 reports on your desk, whatever it is, and like you have to, the goal of your job is to make sure they get either no payout or as little, like you're finding loopholes, right? But like you don't really know what you're doing. You kind of learned it as you went. Realizing that people carry guns, or they're like, oh, like I think it might be this, so we're gonna put this needle in you and give you this and hope it works. And like that's the way the world really is the same idea like when you approach violence. Like I mean, the question we had today from a really high level female jiu-jitsu player who does our job now, and she has great questions because she's got the right mindset for it.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I was just kept waiting for her to answer it herself. And then she said it like, I don't have the context or the application version of this.
Yeah,
for
and
this.
like in a moment of like, that was not a weak moment. That was a very strong like.
Yeah, it's not weak at all.
It was like I need help with this, and you two idiots have that experience, and it was like yes.
and I think it's telling because she's explaining that she's seeing a problem.
Yep.
And she has some ideas, but the rubber's never met the road for her.
Right, and now it is.
Those dogs are in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't heard Rachel talk like that before.
Oh, you haven't?
Uh-uh.
Yeah. The mom voice.
She might come down here and yell at us
The
for
mom
something that we
voice.
didn't even do. Oh,
So no word.
I lost my place.
So you were talking about like, first of all, like that separation which media can create. Like people, like the person we were training with was like somebody that both of us have known for all like you've known her much longer, but like we're talking about somebody who has like touch hours and touch hours and touch hours
Right.
with
At multiple high levels
yeah
of stuff.
like wrestling, jiu-jitsu, like competition, like
law enforcement tactics. Like,
right, like yeah, like
but,
has advanced
but as a teacher, never an officer. And
Right.
to hear one, the complaints that she brought forward of stuff that I thought we had solved.
I knew we hadn't.
Or at least had like started to, but I guess that's just my own naivety of like I've watched other shifts like not like I look around like what are we doing here? Like this is none of us showed you this. Like why would you think that this was the way to go?
Well, and that's I don't know that ties back to the main theme of what we're talking about, but like that could definitely be a complete.
My ankle popped. It's okay.
Yeah,
It just hurt real bad.
one
Go ahead.
pop, two pop, three pop, but
All of it.
I think there is like that mass misconception of like, I'm not. This is not discrediting the value of training or anything, but there's something to be said when like somebody truly has intent, and that's where like the stylized fights, the stylized violence that you see in like film, TV, movie, like really distorts. Like they're gonna approach me one at a time.
Oh my God, that is not. You're gonna do everything you can to try to get them to approach you one at a time.
Yeah.
The other thing is like what I've done judo since I was 4.
Yeah.
37. In all my years, I have hit 8 clean hip tosses when it mattered.
Right.
They're usually dog shit.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't be at pawns. Like they wouldn't be like a winning throw, but like they worked. But like I've hit 8 like super fly clean ones. Like that could be like, man, like that looked like it was in a movie. Like it's so rare.
Yeah.
Now don't get me wrong, there's some magical people out there. Like you got Anderson Silva, what is it? The Style Bender did some cool shit. Mm-hmm. But like that's a level of creativity that I don't know. Like I mean, I've done some cool shit. Like I've hit like a rolling toe hold, a cartwheel kimura, like I've on the fly.
Right.
But like, I mean, it's those levels of creativity come from hours of application touching people.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and the other thing too is like you're moving in a context with those like where the other person is also trying to submit you, and they're playing at a rule set jiu-jitsu, whereas like most of what we're touching, the reality is like they may have training, they may not.
Hurt and pain.
Yeah, but they're either detached from reality. There's a mind-body disconnect, which doesn't really happen even inside of cages. Like the person is just trained and they're experienced in taking violence a certain way so that they can protect themselves.
Like they're not like they're fighting through like the pain of like their face being like, dude, I saw somebody at the end of a bare knuckle boxing match. Whoa. And like I'm starting to get on the Joe Rogan train of like this might not be a good thing. Like,
it's the same thing with that slap league. That's highly entertaining. Don't get me wrong, it's super entertaining, but it's so
at what cost?
Yeah, like to the athletes, like
I mean, you have fucking one of the Paul brothers stepping up to get the double lung transplant for Ben Askren. Yeah, and they did not get along. But he's like this dude's gonna die.
Yeah, like get along or not, like nobody's stepping in to like help. But yeah,
people who certainly have the capabilities and made bank off of this human being.
Yeah,
like I don't know, but I think media grossly like and let's dumb it down even more.
Yeah.
Every time a controversial shooting happens in the police, the question's always there. Why didn't the officer shoot the person in the leg like I saw in the movie?
Or the hand, or...
Why didn't you shoot the gun out of his hand while he was holding a hostage? And then it's always funny, like that blows up, and like you can't turn TV on without that being like the huge question, right? You get one of the like, what are they called when they go out? Like, what does Bruce Almighty do? Where he's like a reporter that's on scene.
Oh yeah, on-site reporter.
Yeah, and then so you have, and it's always
like a
crazy.
Beat reporter, I guess would be.
You always have these reporters who will go to like a force on action training.
Yep. Like
to try to like educate people, and then they run it once during their lowest rated watching time, and then you can't find it again. They don't even link it.
Yeah, and the studies that I've read about, like community police days and stuff like that, where they run them through the use of force scenarios. So there's a lot of, and I've done a bunch of research. This is like an area of our job that we talk about, but like they're local community police agencies. They take their instructors and they put them in front of the community and they educate them just like an officer, and then they put them in a shoot no shoot scenario. 9 times out of 10, that person shoots when they shouldn't.
Yeah,
they shoot that person because
scary.
They're not used to the level of aggression that a regular officer is.
It's
and 10 is that person just freezes and they don't shoot when they should.
Well, it's not even the aggression. It is the shock of, I can't believe that, even in a training, like a
Yeah.
good training scenario,
Yep.
I can't believe that this is happening.
Yeah.
And then so they panic and they're like, to try to put you, like, I've had to, thankfully I'd never had to shoot anybody,
Mhm.
but there were 3 or 4 times that a couple pounds of pressure would have
Yeah,
changed.
you were away from shooting that person.
Yeah, and like I just remember even with training and mentally preparing for it, and like, it sounds stupid, but like meditating on it, like
Yeah.
I just remember, like, did I go through every drop down box? Did I go through every policy? Oh my god, like,
Yeah.
and it's happening so fast. Like, it's happening. One had a gun.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like a Rolodex. Like,
Yeah.
you're just trying to check every box before you do this in this high stress. And one of them, like, we had ran a long time, and I was
So you were, like,
exhausted.
amped up and
Like, I was
exhausted,
exhausted, amped. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't want to get shot. like
Yeah.
it was just a real, because like I'd been to enough simulations trainings where like I did everything right and I still got hit and I wouldn't have survived.
Yeah.
Like, just where they hit me, like it was under my body armor, or like it was just,
Right.
or God forbid I would have survived and like my life never would have recovered.
Mhm.
Like, so like, you know, you're just trying to be like, man, like, am I good to do this? Like, or you have the cowboys who, like, I've seen people like just pow, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
what? And they're like, he had a gun, and I'm like,
Okay.
all right. And
I mean-
then the training ends, and they're like, that was the homeowner.
Yeah.
He had chased off the attacker. And I was like, oh shit.
Well, that's those things, like the unrealistic expectations versus, and also like then the reality of those situations, like not even a shooting type situation. The first time you commit to going hands-on with somebody who absolutely does not want to do it,
Just wants to whoop your
just
ass.
wants to fight.
You're the one. You're like, wow,
Yeah.
that's it.
yeah. I remember the first time I had to go hands-on with somebody alone because they were eloping, and it was much slower than I probably think it was, but like this person was strong, and like they were committed to violence, and like they were just kind of like not letting me do anything to them, but not being super violent back.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know, because like as soon as I touched them, I was like, oh,
That's
this
strong.
was like a decade
That's
ago.
a strong boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, this is a strong person. Like, this person is far stronger than I thought. Like, I have far overestimated my own abilities because I had none at that point.
Yeah.
And it's like that disconnect of like, I can enforce my will on somebody. Can you? Do you know that you can? Have you tested that against people who don't want it to be done to them in a safe environment? Let alone the lab that like is like what we do.
I think that last roll that we did at Rough House with Josh Brown,
Uh-huh.
I was just like, I've wasted my life.
He does have the capability to make you feel like anybody feel like
Yeah,
that.
like-
who's like a normal human. Let's
yeah,
put it
normal,
that way.
normal human. Like you
Yeah.
brought up the Captain America serum. Like that dude is what Captain America would really look like if he was not pretty strong but functional strong. Like,
And the crazy thing is like, and this is not to diminish Josh in any
all.
way, but like there are people that are better than him
I know.
and smaller
right?
and can like take him out.
Yeah.
And there are people that are bigger than him that are just using good jiu-jitsu and can do the same thing.
Smother you,
Yeah,
slow
like
you down.
he rolled with Sam Ferguson. Now, Sam Ferguson is a monster of a human, and like one of the chillest people I've ever met. He's a police officer down in Kentucky, but like the dude's like 6'3", 6'4".
Looks like he's cut from stone. Like,
He's wrestled. He's like, I think, a 3rd degree black belt. Like he's been doing jiu-jitsu and grappling his entire life. He's done MMA. Like he's done all the things.
right? That's somebody like
And-
and so I look at somebody like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, I wasted my life. Like I don't lift. I don't do any of the shit that he
Yeah.
does. Like,
And I mean, like, he's the dude that you're like, that we talk about. They're like, where's that dude? Like, Sam's that dude.
yeah.
Sam's that dude who shows up in uniform. If he showed up next to me, I'd be like, we're good.
Right.
Like I'd be like,
Yeah.
unless somebody just shoots him from 1,000 yards away right now,
Yeah.
we're good. Like
Yeah,
we got
good.
this.
We don't need any more.
Yeah, like
That's
everybody
fine.
else
Sam's
can just everybody else can just go away. The three of us are fine.
We got this.
Yeah, like
Between the three of us,
we'll run around the other person's ankle like chihuahuas while Sam takes care of it. Like,
Yeah,
like
kinda.
that's. But like even him, like I've talked to him about stuff like that, and it's like he's like dealt with situations that like I had to escalate and I had to do stuff, and it's like, you know, like he's got a clear conscience about what he's had to do, but like he goes out like as a police officer where he's at. I don't know what their backup situation's like. I've never really asked like
That'd be a cool interview.
Yeah,
we should do a Schindler's spot.
Yeah, I do need to get him next time he's up here. But yeah, like one of his primary training partners is also.
Next time you go to Kentucky, you should also do a Schindler's spot with Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, if I can get one, that'd be cool.
Or the dude who whooped the fuck out of me.
But he's not Kentucky. Brian?
Not Brian. The one.
Oh, Evan.
Yeah, Evan.
Yeah.
DeWitt.
Yeah,
That'd be a cool Schindler's spot.
But no, like there are people out there that are like they show up and you're like, oh, thank God. Like, like, but I don't know. I think there is some skewed, like even from what the news portrays, I think people just have like a really odd way of interpreting that information.
I think it's willful ignorance, and like.
Well, I'm not saying everybody needs to go out and like be like exposed to a mass shooting. That's horrible. No.
No.
But it's also like.
I think it's always funny when like things start to get escalated and voices get raised, and then all of a sudden somebody who has no business interjecting themselves like, "Hey, come on now!" And like you're just like, "Oh shit! Like, why are you closing the distance
what
with
are
your
you
hands in
doing?
your pockets? Like, you're way too casual with this." Like,
Yeah.
so I think media, unfortunately. That's also, like the training montages in movies. Like it's supposed to be like months and months of training, years of training,
Yeah.
but because you can't age them correctly,
Yeah.
like they're like, oh, that was only 10 minutes, and then you have people who are like, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 2 months. Why do I still not get it? And I said, I still don't get it. I don't like. I've been doing it for 17 years now. 16?
I was gonna say like I'll touch up with like a fresh like 2 or 3 month in white belt, and they're like, you're just so much better than me, and I'm like, I'm not though. Like you actually
it's
are,
relative. Like
yeah, like I'm like I've told people before. I'm like actually like when you get to the point where I'm at, I'll still be ahead of you, but once you understand these things, like I don't know that I'll be able to beat you.
Right, I'm feeling that way
Like-
about you, just with because you're bigger and stronger and longer. Like, I've got to modify a lot of like my sweeps and my bites and stuff because like you're like, I'm used to this now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
oh,
don't want to
shit.
do that. Like, I'm just like,
Shit.
I don't want to do that, and you're like, but I want you to do that.
Yeah, I really would like you
Yeah.
to just comply like you used to.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, like I'm sure that you have that with people that you touch up with, but then so they touch up with you.
Right.
And like they see your blue belt and they're like, okay, like
Yeah.
that's the next step. Like, cool.
Right.
Like that's attainable.
Yeah.
Right? The audacity to go immediately from rolling with you to come roll with me and be
Yeah.
like, man, I thought I really had you, and I'm like,
What?
really? Maybe you did. I mean, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, don't get me wrong, blue belts and white belts tap me all the time.
Yeah.
But like, all right, okay. I guess if you're gonna do anything, do it with confidence. Like,
Yeah, and I'm never like. That's the other thing too. Like, and we've talked about this as well. Like, I don't give a fuck if a white belt, like a lower belt or my peer belt
either.
taps me.
I don't either.
But also, like, what does that get you, dude? This isn't like we didn't win $1 million.
I'd also
Like-
also like, it's always something that like, I don't have it in me anymore to like, explain like the jiu-jitsu journey to people. Like, you caught me, but like, let's pump our brakes here.
Yeah.
Like, you watched me roll for an hour.
Yeah.
Then I decided I was gonna let you work and like
Mhm.
pass, and then like you got an arm, and I was like, man, let's see if I can get out. And then like
Yeah.
I couldn't, like
Right.
whatever, and like you tapped me, or you just pulled some slick shit. Like some people just explode and like you're not ready, you're caught flat-footed, and like it happens. Like,
Well, and
like,
there's
it's the other one is like real good wrestlers who come in and like, yeah,
Yeah.
but I took you down, bro. And I'm like, do I need to give you the Fast and the Furious speech? Like, You took me down, and then I tapped you like 10 to
Right,
11
yeah.
times. Like you're not dead because I let go. Like, so like this, but like, and I understand. Like, it's something that I'm working through. Like as a, like I don't teach anywhere for realsies. Like it's a, how do you convey this without like I'm just a real shitty selfish black belt. Like I'm just here to train, beat some people up.
Yeah.
Show some shit to people like the ones I'm kind of interested in seeing what they become, and then like fade the fuck out. Like I don't want to like I just don't invest in people anymore. Sorry, if you're one of those like.
But here's the thing, I understand that as well. Like you never sought to be like, I want to be a head coach of a jiu-jitsu school. Like you're a competitor. Like at the fundamental like basics of it.
I've actually, because let's be real, like I haven't competed, and it'll probably be coming up on a year that I haven't competed. Just with life and like things that have happened and like my knee. Not that I'm not ready to. I've tried. I've put some applications out. I got matched a few times. It didn't really align with work, or like there was a better match. So they're like, I'd rather fight this one, whatever. But like, I am interested in realistic, heavy training, which I think the big thing is like, again, I think I've said it a few times. Like, I want to know that I didn't waste my life, and that I'm not out here believing rumors. Like, I'm not out here like, oh, like he's trained.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to believe in the training montage. I want to understand that it'll work. Right.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. Like I would, like you said, like watch those unrealistic training montages. Like he trained really hard for a day and a half, and now he's gonna win a
Mastered
tournament.
the secret technique.
Yeah, he's gonna go up against a kid from Cobra Kai that's been training since he was 3, and now he's 20.
He can pierce the veil with his extra senses.
No, he can't. But yeah,
which is something to be said. The thing is like jiu-jitsu probably is the realest one that makes you feel like a superhuman, from being able to like touch somebody, and from the moment that you start to pass their guard, understand that like I'm gonna end up in this position, and I'll probably tap them with this.
Yep.
And being able to see it and then ride the wave the way I want it to go.
Yep.
Like that's a wild thing that is hard to articulate to people. Like jiu-jitsu is the closest thing to a superpower in terms of martial arts.
Yeah. That's one thing I agree very much so, as I've done it more with like Jocko Willink. He's like, jiu-jitsu superpower. I'm like, yeah, I get that.
Is.
I get that. Like,
on the same vein, but like it never resonated with me that like striking was a superpower, but I've seen some people who can put some people to sleep. But like
the flow of striking is something that still eludes me. It's just because I don't train it. I don't train it enough either.
Let me tell you something, man. Like, there's no flow. It is. You want to talk about absolute chaos? Is striking, but then you have these motherfuckers who can like. They just like Conor McGregor calling out as like training the move that slayed Jose Aldo in the training room and having video proof of it.
Yeah.
Like but that's like a once in a lifetime fighter.
Look what happened this weekend. Topuria with Oliveira. He called, I'm going to knock him out in the first round. He did. Topuria knocked out Charles Oliveira in the first round. There was maybe 20 seconds of exchange. 1, 2, 3, down. I was like,
I didn't watch it. But it's like Babe Ruth calling a shot. Like you have these ones who like are that sharp, that dialed in, but like that dude trains that's his job is to train. Like, but then
and there were like some good jiu-jitsu exchanges before that, but Topuria just like whoop, he faded out of them. Like some good leg entanglements, like some good head locks, like Oliveira. It's not like he was just sitting there like hit me, buddy. Like like he was playing his game.
Oliveira's
right,
like a wily fighter, and he's tested. Like he's good.
But it was like he hit him with
1, 2, 3.
He hit him with a right, knocked him out. Hit him with the left, knocked him out further, and then hit the ground. Wham! And it was like he's like, I told you that's what I was gonna do. And they were like,
I don't even know who this person is, which is how removed I am from.
I only know because like I watched it.
Right, no, I'm
and
saying
then like we were talking about it at the gym, and I was like, yeah, I did actually watch that fight because it was 40 seconds long.
Surprised. Usually people put highlights of it, but cool, dope.
No, the UFC put the whole fight up themselves. They're
That's
thank
how
you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you UFC for like actually like putting your stuff out there on YouTube now. Like,
Hey, as
not
cool as that
everything-
is, you
yeah.
should probably take care of fighters that fought for you.
yeah,
Just saying.
Mighty Mouse.
Oh my god, dude. And to be like, I don't think you're that exciting. That dude, at least once a month, his suplex to armbar, like
Yeah,
that dude is again like
he is the definition of understanding the martial side of things, and he is art in motion.
and now
Like,
that he
oh.
just does jujitsu.
I know. I'm so excited.
Bro, like I am so excited for that. I can't wait for him to do like a Craig Jones, especially that he was there and watched Luke
Yes.
Rockhold.
Yes.
Like put Mighty Mouse out there. Like that's so dope. I want to see him. I'd love to see one judoka or J Flow have like a masters match. Like
That'd be sick.
yeah, like it'd be really dope. We went off topic.
We did. It's all right. This happens. This
This
is
happened.
the ebb and flow.
But like the skewed side of things is a really dangerous thing.
Mhm.
And then because god damn, everybody's opinion matters. Like, hey, I think you could have done it this way. You ever tried to do it that way? Doesn't fucking work. We can try it
Yeah, we can try it
for
all
you
day.
to be here,
Yeah.
but I want you to be here for it.
Yeah, you can't just tell me and then fade away.
Yeah,
No,
I think you should do things this way.
Yeah.
Okay, from the back of the bus.
Yeah.
Like,
Come on up.
yeah, you
Come
show me what
on
you
up.
want.
Yeah, let's step on the mats.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I bet you don't.
Oh, okay. So you don't want me to do the thing that you know will hurt somebody to you.
Yeah.
It worked one time. Cool.
70% of the time, it works every
every
time.
time.
I don't know what to do with stuff like that. And then when you start like talking about this traditionally viewed as like a caveman thing, and you start talking about like it scientifically or like using logistics or like, hey, like we tested it this way, and they're like, tested it? I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
I let that dude punch me in the face while I tried to make this thing work, and it didn't work. And then I said, I shouldn't be a bitch about it. I'm going to try it again.
Yeah.
And then I got hit again. I said, this isn't going to work.
This is not working.
And they're like,
Yeah.
you just did it wrong. Are you going to show me how it works then?
Yeah.
Are you going to come put it to the blade? Like,
Let's go, Pandora. Open the box. Let's see what's
Ready
going on.
for it,
Like,
like-
come on. Like,
and it's so like they're like, oh well, like you just love violence. You're absolutely right. I do. I adore violence. I think it's the most interesting thing in the fucking world. Like,
well, so I think the thing with like what we're talking about is like stylized violence that gives this false impression that like even comedies like paint this like hilarious picture of like out of shape overweight people that like somehow have these like magical abilities, and they're fucking hilarious.
sorry about.
Like Foot Fist Way and like all these other like there's like a bunch of really like goofy martial arts
Oh,
movies.
Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, like
shit
stuff like that. Like where it's
dude's
like
a grifter,
or,
and all of a sudden he was
Beverly
like,
Hills.
he's the second coming
Yeah.
of Buddha, and I'm
Or
like,
like Chris Farley and Beverly Hills Ninja.
I forgot
like
about-
stuff like that.
what did I say the other day? Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas. Yeah, like those are comedies and they're funny, but it's funny because
There's no
this
way.
unathletic person is doing these hyper athletic things with movie magic, and it's like they didn't. Cool, like they may have been an athlete, but like they're not going out and doing this shit for real.
Yeah.
And it's like that also skews this idea like I can do that too. Like
You know the realest one.
what?
You know the realest one that like you could absolutely do that too, and like it's one of the main reasons like I still like adore it. Like John Wick
yeah,
revolutionized it and brought jiu-jitsu, because it's really sambo, but like
Yeah.
brought jiu-jitsu into the forefront of people's, and they're like, Keanu Reeves went out there, like they did that. They released that like Keanu Reeves is training like twice a day, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so he's doing a really good competition schedule.
Yep.
Like he's getting ready for a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Like he's doing
and they're
comp,
like, do you think I can do that? Is he Ted? Is he Bill?
Ted.
He's Ted.
Yeah,
If Ted can do it, you can do it.
yeah,
Same thing. Paul Walker was doing it. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Charlie Hunnam, and then Tom Hardy. Like Tom, like you can go
and
do these
then
things. Like,
Ashton Kutcher trains.
yeah,
so
but who's
does Mario
who's it?
Lopez.
Selena Gomez or Ariana Grande? Which one of the girls does it? The real
Nah,
popular.
Demi
So-
Lovato.
Demi Lovato. Yeah.
She's like a purple belt.
Yeah. Like,
Russell Brand's a purple belt.
oh, I forgot. And Jonah Hill is a blue belt now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but like these, like
They're regular people. They're just actors. Like,
you can go
do that.
it. Like, again, like, there's nothing special about it outside. The special thing is showing up. And something that, there's somebody who took a break for a while. She hurt her back. And she's like, yeah, I just got to get in shape to get back. I'm like, you're a blue belt. You know that's not what's needed. Right. I understand it's scary coming back. It is, because you're coming back from a back injury.
Yeah.
But, like, you just show up and do it. You
Yeah.
just show up. Just show up.
Do the thing.
Just show up. Like, just put your gi on.
Yeah.
Show up. And you can't sit here. You can't sit there and be, like, worried about your back. You got to be in it. You got to be, like...
Well, the other thing, too, is, like, as, like, I've progressed in it, like, I have a back injury. So when I get put in any kind of, like, compromise... Yeah, I have, like, horrible herniations in my lower back.
Oh, I had no idea. I wouldn't have compacted you today with the kickstand.
Yet again, I'll tap. Like, if it's that bad, like, that's why
I wouldn't have done, like, such a spinal. I didn't know that you had a back thing.
Oh, yeah. My lower back is horrible. I have arthritis. Like...
I guess I should have put that together when you told me you started sleeping on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to talk about not a myth. Barefoot shoes, sleeping on like traditional like futons for like like Japanese futons that are like well, there's a tatami mat, and then there's like there's like a mat that you put over it to like sleep on. The tatami is actually for so your mattress doesn't get funky. It like pulls all the funk out of it. Anyway, not to get too deep on that, but you want to talk about changing how like I wake up and stuff like that, and like my movement. It's just like transitioning to barefoot shoes. The first several like weeks were kind of rough. And then like it became, I went back and slept on a traditional mattress and I had to peel myself off of it.
Ugh.
Whereas like, even though there was some pain associated with sleeping on the floor, when I wake up, I can move.
Cool.
I can get up and move immediately. Whereas sleeping on a traditional mattress hurt every shoulders, mid back, low back.
What do you do when you travel?
You can just roll our bed up and take it with you.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know.
You literally just take it with you, and then you put
I'm
it
not
on
judging. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you just put it on the actual floor.
Cool.
So it's like super easy. Like if somebody's like, I have an empty room, I'm like, I have a mat, and I don't care.
Yeah, cool.
Or I would just literally take the sheets off of bed and throw it on the actual floor. That would work too. Cool. So like I could just get a smaller room with a twin bed in it and just sleep next to it. Anyways,
do you feel like we've covered the topic that you so masterfully came up with?
Yeah. Do you have anything else you did diverge into something interesting when we were talking about like what happened today, where we were like running through ideas with somebody who has like a deep understanding of like controlling and like stuff like that. And I thought that was interesting too. Like, not that I didn't know that was a thing that she was going to need, but like having her come to the realization is like probably the most important part.
Yeah. Like, so like, it's one of those things where like, and again, props to her for like having so little of an ego to recognize the danger or the problem. And
but that's a sign of a true training mentality though.
Yeah.
Like the adaptability to like, I see violence and I want to make sure I understand how to solve this problem.
It's, and I hope that what we're teaching and doing is the most beneficial, but like she brought up some interesting things. Like she's a super small lady, and like so like if she can find something that works better, I'm for it. Like I'm for learning it or trialing it on the lab, like whatever it is.
Well, and like the one thing that I think is interesting is like having so we did scenarios with her, and like I was the bad guy and I'm the biggest person there, and I'm slightly above average. Like I weigh a lot more than both of you that were there, and like you're both, because of your good jiu-jitsu mechanics and pinning, like were able to hold me very effectively.
And you did.
Yeah, I gave you some sauce.
You gave us some sauce, and we were able to transition with it. We even had to turn you once, so you didn't prone out.
Yep.
And so we didn't get crushed up against the seclusion door.
Right.
But like, and the community, and we really probably should have recorded. The communication was great. The movement was great. The teamwork was great. Like, and it's that thing like of like, okay, like this exposure, this thing that's happening. And like that, that kind of builds towards like if we're gonna run Cheney through those kind of things, like it's all well and good for me to play the bad guy, like when you want like
a trained bad guy.
boxing, like you want like strikes and stuff like that. But like the true, like you have the size, your ability to like, you're like you can kind of
I can wiggle
like
out
of stuff, right?
I'll tell you right now, you want to know the most annoying thing an untrained person can do is just move their body. And honestly, this is all it takes. That will confuse a trained person because this is not a trained movement.
There's a cop that I used to work with, and he did circle defense, and like it drove me banana sandwich.
Yeah.
Like it literally, I was like, why the fuck isn't this working? And then I was like, he's not trying to do anything other than just keep me away.
Yeah.
And so there's find a way around it. Like,
right. Yeah.
But like, I mean, it was effective. It was really good. Like, and as a bad guy, holy shit, that was horrible to deal with. Like,
when you think about it, like you're creating an extension and you're creating a moving target that you're like, what do I do with that? Like,
and he's just popping you away.
Yeah.
Like he's not overcommitting to anything. He's he's moving. So like, some interesting things that came out of it that I'm kind of, I'm open to like exploring in a new way. But like, again, now we have to do the scariest part is like waiting for her to touch true violence and need to apply it and be like, please let this work. Please tell me we didn't waste our fucking life with this. Like, I want to be safe. Like,
that's also where like having the lab that we have like is super important. Like that is irreplaceable. Like dumping knowledge into it and then like having people that we know are going into the job or like new to the job, like that are trained or have a high level of training, like they get to touch the hot stove with us and then like see it with different, like the real thing. Cause that's how, like, you think about like the touch in jiu-jitsu, like the first time, like your student who keeps coming and training with us, like your they have a former self-defense student, like he's learning, like he's like from the last week to this week, there's already a difference in like his behavior and like what he's doing because he's learning how to touch like the violence and like.
And we're not teaching.
No,
like,
we're
which
just
is crazy
rolling.
that he came back.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he was coming. He has my number. He didn't text me. He was waiting on us.
He looked at me. I walked into work and he was like, "Monday, I'll see you Monday." And I said, "Cool, I'll see you Monday." I was like, "I don't know if I'll see him Monday."
Yeah,
I was like, I think so. I hope so.
We were super late today. I felt so bad. I don't know why he didn't text me.
Yeah, but yeah, like I've already seen like differentiation and
he
like
was always a good kid,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that like he's got a good job with us now, and like he's coming to training. But like that's always the interesting thing because he moves so well. He's got such good body control, like so he could really be something. But like we're also not teaching at Kimura Trap House. We're just there for the roles. Like,
but I mean, like
that's how I learned. But there was zero when I moved here and joined judo or Pickwood judo and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody talked to me for like 3 or 4 months. It was just beat downs.
So it's just straight randori.
Yeah,
like just
with
straight
groundwork.
Yeah, so
like
Niwaza and randori.
Like it didn't stop when you got thrown. They just told you if it was a full point, and then you kept going. Like it was.
And then you were like,
don't
break my arm. I guess.
Like thank God I was a natural at judo and knew how to like fall. But
I mean, like that. I truly think that is like, and I'm not saying like there needs to be some like learning and teaching and stuff like that. Like, but he has like groundwork. Like
we
he
did a great job.
Tapping.
Columbus State did a great job of laying good groundwork.
Well, like just his like he's like, oh, I'm in danger. Like no ego. Like tap. Like cool.
But he was rolling with Dottie and like. Dottie legitimately threw him. He came over. He was like, Dottie, like
threw you. I saw it.
And
I was standing off.
She held him down.
Yeah.
And I was like, my 10-year-old is holding down a grown man.
Yeah. Well, like, and that's funny. Like, I think a lot of people would look at the room we had today and be like, I can only learn from these two people, these two higher belts, because there's a black and a brown belt. And I was like, I got something out of every single role, and there are children there.
My 10-year-old.
Yeah. Well,
just blew my mind with her mount.
Yeah. There's the youngest. There's his older child. There's, I don't know how old your former student is.
I think he's 22.
So he's like in his 20s, like very athletic, but like a smaller dude, but still like ripped up, like super fast, like all that stuff. And like he'll be a weapon if he like keeps doing it.
Yeah.
But like every single person there that I touch, whether it's the youngest to like you, who's the highest belt there, like. And if Jason's there, like I touch all those people and like I get something out of it. Like if you can't get something out of every role, like Like I get it if there's a bag there and you're like rolling with that, that's nothing. But there's still something to be learned every time you touch a real person.
Well, and so people like I get asked a couple times like why do you always roll with like the white belts or like the girls and stuff like that. One, like it's to make them feel powerful, right?
Yeah.
Like they need to establish confidences. But two, like I can put limitations on myself. Like I can roll with my eyes closed. I can roll with I tuck a hand into my gi, or like I tell them like I'm only hitting this sweep and I'm only going for this submission. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to trick you. I'm not going to do anything. Like the standard way of approaching these things is what I'm going to try to do.
Well, what's funny is like even as the physically biggest person there, like you said, Dottie's mount is super good, right?
It's hard to get out of.
It's hard to get out of, but it also gave me a way to use a leg entanglement that I have never really like. I've used it a couple times on other people, but like they were like new, and like she knows just enough to hold and pin well. So it's like I'm creating space. I'm like, oh, I could just go right into this. So I learned something from rolling with a child.
Yeah.
Like I'm refining something that I haven't seen because she's giving me a look that other people may not give me.
If
like,
Dottie wasn't so nice, she'd be a fucking terror. And Isla is a terror, but she's just so small. Like,
yeah. Maybe that's a good thing.
It is. It is a good thing. It is a good thing. And the thing is, it's like they go in waves, dude. I still like my favorite story about Isla is like she wrestled.
Yeah.
And she got fourth, and she probably could have gotten first. And she looked at me and Devin, and she was like, "What do I need to do to get first?"
Yeah.
And like we explained it to her, and she said, "I'm gonna get first next week." And I just did the typical like, "Yeah, well, just have fun, baby."
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Every match, she'd be like, "What do I need to do?" And I said, "Just win." And I explained how to win, and so she went out and did it. Finals, and she's like, I'm like, "You feeling good, baby?" She's like, "Yeah." And immediately, this little girl who met her in the finals, like blew her out of the water. Like so, like she's down. I think Isla was down 6 points.
Yeah.
And they was going into the third period, and like they're little, so it's super short time. It's like less than a minute, I think.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and she's like, she looked at the thing, and she said, "Am I losing?" And I said, "Yeah, baby. That chick took you down."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What do I need to do to win gold?" And I said, "You have to pin her."
Yeah.
You have to pin her,
You
baby.
have to pin her. You have to win.
And,
Yeah.
you know, typical good strategy from the other girl was her turn, so she made Isla go down to, like, referee's position. And all you have to do is, like, hold them. Or you can release them, and they only get 1 point, right? So this girl probably should have released Isla. She tried to hold Isla down. Isla Granby'd. Nobody showed her how to Granby roll. This is her first year in wrestling. Rolled that little girl over and pulled her own leg behind the girl's head and pinned her in like a pretzel. And she's like, "I won first, right?" And I said, "Yeah, baby, you did it." Like, and then the second she got her first place ribbon, she was like, "That was really hard. I don't want to do it again." And I said,
"Okay.
You were so good though. Like, why did you say it? Why?" And now we took like a year, 2 years off of wrestling.
Yeah.
And like she's like, I would really just rather wrestle. But
Speaking of children.
oh, hi.
Did you see me sneak?
No, not at all, baby.
Good job."
You sure?
I didn't see you at all. You just scared me to death. Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing, Dot?
Good.
Mwah. What are you doing?
I don't know. Calming down.
Let's say hi.
Hi.
Your head's cut off there.
Yeah.
See?
Wait.
So, what was your favorite part of training today?
Me?
Yeah.
Beating
I
Jesse
like.
up?
Yeah, I liked throwing Jesse and then putting Uncle Tim in an armbar multiple times.
Fantastic. What are you guys doing upstairs?
I was playing Nintendo. We're watching Gravity Falls, and Aunt Rachel is doing something.
Cool. All right. Love you. We're going to
Bye.
wrap up here soon.
Bye.
Bye, Uncle Tim.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
This is one of our longer ones.
Yeah. That's
We
all I
really
got.
rambled.
It's okay.
Stay whimsical. Stay combative. Come train.
See you.
Bye.